Good morning ladies and gents. It's been a while since I've did a video now. What I'm going to do, as you can see from the bits in the middle here, is try finalise an old project that I come up with. It's going to be a magnetic motor. Again, I know there's many different types out there, but this is a different version and you never know. It's worth a shot. So as you can see, I've already made most of the pieces for it, but one of the issues I had is actually perfection. Obviously I'm dealing with a large ring of magnets here. I'll try centre that to make sure. I've got a large ring of magnets here, and even though it looks round, I need it to be absolutely round. So I've finally come across a bit that will enable me to do that. Just have to move these out of the way because again, magnets and metal don't mix. And I'm just going to have to double check this on the screen. There's this one. As you can see now, I have a massive tool that's going to enable me to cut pretty big and accurate circles. This bar itself is 30 centimeters wide, with I think it's 4 centimeter cutting depth, or 3 centimeters if you go by this. And the first issue I've got with this is it's actually too big. The bench press in the other room actually catches this as it goes round, so that's sat in the centre hub. And I've got the frame that actually comes up and supports the actual drill itself. So I'm going to have to do, the first thing is actually cut the tool down to size. And I got this off eBay. It was about £9-ish, around that price. It's not bad for what it is, and hopefully it will allow me to actually cut very accurate circles. All the pieces are adjustable. Got Allen keys, so this actually slides up and down the bar itself. I don't know if one of these are loose enough to do that. Nope, I'll just loosen it off. As you can see, I can set these now to whatever size that I want. There are markings on the bar. It may not pick it up on this camera as usual, but there are markings that's going to enable me to put it at the actual right width that I need to cut the circle. And obviously you set both sides and they work together through cutting a piece. So what I'm going to have to make today is the outer ring of obviously the main body of the motor itself. That's all down because that's the lowest point. And I'm also going to be making the centre hub again. I've got currently a brass bearing fitting in there which goes onto the motor, well not the motor, really the rotor. Actually it's a bit from I think it's a hard drive or something, but it's an old school one. This is like a little metal ring, of course. It's just centered in the middle there, and this is the actual rotor part that's going to turn. All the glue is from trying to connect on flywheels and other various things on the old design, but again, it wasn't accurate enough to actually go round. It did in some parts, but it just catched in others. So those are going to be the two pieces that I'll be remaking today. With the great big drill bit that I have. So what I've done, what I'm starting to do is taking off all of these magnets. Again, they're all set as one side's north and one side is south, so each half is repelling the one next to it as well. So again, what I'm just doing is carefully picking off each magnet. I just had a few that come off so easy. This one doesn't want to budge, okay. Again, break off each one individually and obviously just set them aside, because I know that this is the obviously all the magnets for this particular piece of the rotor. And what the hell was that? Ow. It can be very sharp when it's dry. After going in the garden and digging out the hacksaw, as you can see now, I have the tool bit in the bench press. Where are you? I've just got a limiter on at the minute. So what I've done is just hacksawed off the ends. I put each piece in place, and I don't need anything greater than 18 centimeters. So I've set it at 18 centimeters, and it actually gives me a good clearance. I've finally got a cut. On the other side of the board there's loads of practice ones where they're all over the place. I've finally again got both blades now to actually cut together, because caused by, I guess, the grub screw on the inside of this. Actually the bar sat at an angle like that, so obviously that's an extreme, but it sat like this, so only the one side was cutting. Not very visible, but there's a vice marks because I had it in a vice and I got a lump hammer and smashed the living hell out of it until it actually went level. On the bar itself it looks bent, but that's because it's compensated for the grub screw in the middle. So now both blades are actually mostly 99.99% level with each other now, so when it cuts, both cut instead of just being the one blade. I'm going to have a bit of fun. I don't know if it's meant to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll be turning these pieces actually completely round. So this is a flat edge, so this would be the edge that you're cutting into the wood. I'm going to turn these completely round, or swap them on whatever sides or whatever it needs to be done, because I need to be starting to cut a centre piece for the other design. So I'll have the centre hub, then the outer ring. This half will support the magnets, and on the centre hub along the face it's because I got the dust, but along the face will be the magnets for the centre piece. But this blade only cuts outwards, so again I'll just turn them around and make it cut inwards. Fingers crossed if I don't end up losing them. So it's a little while later and I'm at the stage obviously clearing out all the bits from the waist, the middle that I won't need at all. As you can see on the outer and inner lines, I've scored sort of the size that I want. This tool piece makes a hell of a racket when it does it, so that's why I haven't been filming it. But as you can see, that's generally what I need to do. Get rid of the waist, and it will leave me with the two pieces that I want. I've also decided actually that I'm going to remake the very base, because the other one, although it was mostly accurate, it was tweaked in a way because the other the boxes around the outside, they weren't right themselves, so I twisted it around to make it more accurate. But overall, when I line it up to a piece that is like these that I've been using set squares and whatnot, and obviously the bench press, the bench drill, it's not as in a line as I want it, so I'm just going to remake the whole lot, start from scratch and do the final piece. So this is what I've got to so far. Again, I've started over here because there's quite a bit of noise. So I've got the drill running at the minute. I'm actually going to show doing the final cut because the centre bit cuts a lot easier and there's a lot less noise than what there was before, so if it's quite loud now I apologise, but again an audio warning as I approach the drill and start cutting, it's going to be quite noisy. Oh wow, nowhere near as noisy as it was before. So as you can see, the bit's spinning away, blades are facing inwards, and it's just going to cut away. Whoops, that went a bit low. Yeah, I see it gets caught sometimes as it goes down because it bites into the wood. But actually I did want to show this happening. That was quite cool when I spotted that. So this is, come on, I'm going to get quite a big bit. Yeah, I'm on. There we are. So yep, that's the shavings, that's where I've been drilling it to weaken it off, which worked perfectly until that last little bit. Yeah, so that's been cutting away nicely, and this should be the actual core and outer ring finally done. I got a feeling when it stopped suddenly it actually bit into the bottom of the two pieces. There's two pieces here, as you can see. The top one I of course want all the bits to be cut out, the bottom one I don't. I did set the drill to go to the right depth, but with this one it vibrated and it might have actually allowed it to go that little bit lower, which is why it come to a dead stop, because the material wasn't cleared out of the way and it caused it to freeze. Oops, sorry about that. So what I'll do now is I'll take it all off, undo the screws. There's some screws in the bottom here that's holding it in place. I'll take those out. I'll clear the bits out of the way. I'll actually separate the whole unit, at least for the outer part, and just go over it to make sure that the inner part has fully cut through, and also yeah, it's fully done. Okay, one moment. So this is the newly cut pieces now separated. So that's it in the core, just divided by a nice black ring there where it got really hot. That's where it got stuck. All the little pop marks from where I drilled, it just sort of stopped as it got through. And of course a big score mark from the outer ring, which I wanted marked, as I'll have to remove some of this material to make an indent as the rotor for the magnet spins. And of course that's the outer ring itself. Rubbish lighting. Up over here. Yes, that is a plain engine. So there's the pieces. That's how it's going to be. But in the long run it's going to be offset like this. If I could just do it as a rough guesstimate. So in the long run, yep, that's where it's going to sort of sit, to create the squeeze on the magnetic field on this side and the expansion on here to cause a magnetic difference and allow the the rotor's magnet to be repelled from the strongest point to the weakest point, to which the fields switch. Like earlier when I said that one half was one field, one half was the other on the other rotor with all the magnets. So they repel to the weakest point of the repulsion, the field switch, and then it attracts. Of course it's not the strongest point, so it keeps attracting all the way back round to the start, and hopefully over that distance momentum is gained, kinetic energy, which I can either store into a flywheel, I'd imagine I'm going to have to, and of course that flywheel will put that kinetic energy back into the system. When it gets back to the starter, fingers crossed, push through the initial repulsion field, which will be its strongest there, and then break past it, and of course then continue back on, and hopefully see if that works. Okay, I think that's the sort of this phase for this half of the little video. I guess guys, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you later.